Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good Wednesday evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Dialogues with Doc. This is this week's edition of Dialogues with Doc, and I'm just so excited to be with you guys on this evening. If you can hear me, let me know. Put it in the chat. If you can hear me, can you comment and let me know you can hear me well? If I'm giving you Teddy Riley, let me fix it real quick. Let me know what's going on. As I am excited to be joining you guys again for another exciting and amazing week of dialogue and discussion on Dialogues with Doc. So happy Wednesday. Happy New Year. If I didn't get to say it to you last week, I hope and pray that all is going well with each and every one of you. While I'm there, also happy Founders Day to the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I know so many of you guys, so I did want to give you guys a shout out as well on today. So happy Founders Day to you ladies. Keep supporting and keep showing all that amazing sisterhood, scholarship, and service. Doc Verde loves you guys. This alpha man has a lot of love for the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta. So again, this is Dialogues with Doc. This is the Wednesday edition on January 13th, 2021. Happy New Year again. I hope that you all are doing extremely well. I hope that you guys are staying safe. I hope that you guys are still practicing social distancing. Hope that you guys are still wearing your mask. Hope that you guys are still being safe and practicing the 6 feet distance, 6 feet of distance between you. And that if you're going to get that vaccine, I'm hoping and praying for you guys that are getting the vaccine, and hoping that you're not having any challenges or side effects happening with it. So I'm so excited because I'm going to get mine soon. Hey, Thomas, man, I appreciate you. Hey, good brother. Hey, my sister Dana, how are you guys? Thank you guys so much for joining me on tonight. Do me a favor, just a couple of housekeeping issues before we get started. Please like the video. Please share the video. If you want to start a watch party, that's fine as well. If you are watching me on YouTube, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. It's Dr. Calvin Green on YouTube as well. So know that this live stream is streaming on Facebook and it's also streaming on the YouTube channel. If you want to go back and watch any old shows or any old topics that we've had on Dialogues with Doc, all of those shows are archived on the YouTube channel as well as the Facebook page. So again, I'm so excited to be joining you guys. Let me know how I'm looking. I can't get on live stream with ashy lips. You know, it's 2021. If my lips ashy, Dana, tell me. I love you guys. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you all the time. I want to keep delivering this great content and giving you guys my best. So I do have a lot of awesome topics lined up over the next couple of weeks. Some amazing guests are going to be joining me. Some amazing guests are going to be pouring in and sharing what they have on the various topics. And for those who don't know, I really think and pray about the topics that I want to put on this platform. I am so excited and honored to even be able to have a platform like this to do this. For those who don't know, this came up during COVID, during the pandemic. I just wanted to provide a safe space for individuals to talk about different topics, and these topics vary just depending upon what I feel the need is. So I have a lot of awesome topics and a lot of amazing guests lined up for the coming year who are going to be joining me on Dialogues with Doc. So please make sure you are locked, that you stay tuned every Wednesday at 8 p.m. There's something amazing that I'm going to be talking about. Sometimes I'll be talking about it by myself. Sometimes I'll have guests with me, one-on-one conversations or interviews. And other times we'll have full-fledged panels on different topics. So some of my guests that I have lined up, I'm so excited. This is the year of the surprise. So you never know who I'm going to have on the show. So just stay tuned, keep watching, and just rock out with me. Just rock out with me as we continue to go through this thing. So quick check-in. If you're watching, how you doing? Where are you watching it from? Go ahead and put in the chat or the comments where you're watching from. Go ahead and shout out somebody. Shout me out. Shout yourself out. Let me know where you're watching from. You never know who's going to be watching this show. So I have people watching from all over the United States, from all over the country. So you never know who I just want to show some love. Hey, good brother, Antoine. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, Dr. Lofton. ATL. Okay, you moved again. You in ATL now, man? I'm proud of you, Doc. Keep doing great things, man. Thank you for being on the front line, doing some amazing work. So I got ATL in the house. If you're watching, where are you watching from? Go ahead, let's check in. For those who don't know, I'm in the DMV. Pray for me. Last Wednesday was a lot, and according to what I see in the news, they're not done yet. So yeah, just pray that our brother keeps his sanity, his brother stays safe, and our brother continues to stay guarded. Okay, you there for me? Love you, man. Stay safe, brother. So ATL's in the building. The DMV is in the building. Dana, my sister, she's in Pennsylvania. She's in the building. And those who are watching, I just like to see where people are watching from. You never know who may be watching or who may be sharing or who may just really need this great content. So again, like I said, I have some amazing guests lined up for this year. Some amazing topics coming down the pipeline. I am really just in a space where I want to just keep getting this good content out. Philly in the building. Philly, where I am from. I love it. You gave me a little throwback, Rough Riders, Dana. Uh, so go do some amazing things this year. So I'm so excited, so proud of you. If you have topics that you want me to try to tackle or conquer, please send me an email, drcalvingreen@gmail.com. If you think there may be a great topic I may not know about, there are some show suggestions or topic suggestions, please let me know that as well. And I will do my best, my very, very best, to try to get that on, try to get some amazing guests, and we'll go from there. So what I wanted to do tonight was I wanted my let me set this up properly. So I wanted my very first guest for 2021 to be able to come and just talk about an amazing topic. So tonight's topic, for those who are watching, is this is the light edition. So the light edition, if you don't know me by now, I come up with a topic and I try to come from several different angles when I get this topic and when I get this download. So I kept having this download about light. And light can go in so many different directions. So I'm just so excited to see what's in store for tonight. So with this light edition, there are so many things happening around each and every one of us that sometimes we just need a reminder of light, a glimmer of light, a light of hope, a ray of hope, something like that to just keep us going and keep us pushing a little bit harder. So tonight I decided to reach out to an amazing individual to join me. This person, when I talk about the light, they are an amazing individual that definitely has a light, has a heart of gold, and they just continue to do great things to promote light, to get people to come out of darkness, to get people to own who they are, to get people to self-evaluate and reassess what their light may be. My light may have been A, but now it's B. Their light may have been me thinking this person was my partner, and now I'm asking why did I even go in that direction? So light can go in a bunch of different directions with regards to how you move, how you navigate. And as we embark upon this new year that we're in, we just kind of need a reminder of what our light is and why we do certain things a certain way, and just continue to empower and endure the light that we have. So tonight, I have an amazing guest joining me. I am so excited for this amazing guest to be joining me. But of course, this is Dialogues with Doc. So there's only one way I can do this, which is the only way I can do this when I have a guest come on. So if you know me, if you rock with me, and you've been rocking with me since the beginning of August, I like to give people their flowers while they can smell them. So let me give it up for my Pastor Stormy. How are you, sir?
I am well. Thank you so much. That was so good. That was so very, very good.
Listen, I like to listen. I like to have fun. I like to do things the right way. And when you invite a guest on, it's very important that you celebrate them. And I celebrate you tonight, my friend. Thank you for joining me on this edition of Dialogues with Doc. As I stated earlier, this light thing is something serious. And I needed a light to join me on this journey tonight. I said on my show last week something that has been sticking with me since I said it. You know how you're doing things and stuff just jumps out at you. You never know where it comes from. So I said last week that one thing about candles is candles don't compete. This candle has a light and this candle has a light, but they're not in competition. They're complementing each other. So thank you for me tonight and complimenting me on this light edition. So I thank you so much for doing that, my brother.
I first of all want to say thank you for the invitation to be a part of this discussion on tonight. I was indeed blown by the invitation alone, and to be here to share about the light as we'll talk about this journey that I'm on at the top of this year. It is for me such a breath of fresh air, and I appreciate the opportunity. Seriously, I really appreciate it.
You are so welcome, and I appreciate you, man. So listen, I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing started. For those who've never heard of Pastor Sammy, tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll get into our light discussion. Tell us a little bit about you.
Wow. Okay. So where should I start? Let me see. So I am currently Pastor Sammy of Vision Los Angeles here in Southern California. I am also the founder of Love Freedom Movement, which is my nonprofit foundation, which is also the nonprofit of Vision Los Angeles. But I created it to be a space for creative of all genres, from acting to beauty to fashion to any genre of the creative space, to come into a room and to be empowered by the narrative of those who have done it, to give you the faith and the aspiration to like take a leap into it, no matter how it looks. Take a leap. It's part of your soul calling. I call myself sometimes a soulpreneur. As well as, you know, in my former life, like I really worked in publication, entertainment. I host a show called currently right now called Healing Room LA. Plus, I am the COO of United Progressive Pentecostal Church Fellowship. I am the marketing director for I Elevate Media Group, which is now coming out as I Elevate Plus TV. So I have my hand in a lot of things in terms of when it comes to branding and development. But I have been really focusing on taking a turn and a curve to build what I believe my focus is now is soulpreneurship and spirituality, and pushing people towards harnessing and going within to know just how powerful you are and magnetic you are at the same time.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And that was my next question because I did my research, so I saw soulpreneur. You kind of hit on it, but what else? Like when you hear so this is a term you like. It pretty much describes everything that you just said. How did you come up with this term soulpreneur? Like that's such a powerful word that has light attached to it.
Yeah.
And you would even think about it from that lens. But as you just explained, what all that entails, I'm like, man, like that's dope. Like, how did you come up with the word soulpreneur?
I think I came up with it, first of all, because I've always been committed, no matter what I have done, I've always been committed to listening to my internal instinct, my internal call, my internal voice that guides me through life. And at times it is challenging when you move in that sphere of the world, because when you think you settle in a space and you think you're doing really well and you don't need to make a left or a right move, just kind of stay in this pocket and build there, this energy, this calling, and I call it my soul calling, will move me in another direction and say, you need to take another leap. And so by me being submitted to that really as a young guy, and then more, the older I become, the more willing I am to take it on. I felt that it was necessary with all the people that I have met. Many people still have an area in their life where they are sad or unhappy or don't even want to get up to go to work because it doesn't bring them joy. I talked to my sister at times, and she loves teaching, but at the same time, she feels like it's taking her energy away. And even my love for fashion, I think I love fashion, but you always have to. I think of fashion as energy. So what clothes make you feel alive? What clothes call you to something instead of clothes that are actually taking you away from the table? And so when I think about that, I in my mind, everything goes back to this inner genius that is living within us. And when we really begin to build it, harness it, listen to it, because we build many walls of communication, but we don't build enough layers of just listening to what your internal instinct is saying to you in the direction that is giving you, in order for you to make the appropriate decisions that are critical for your success in life. And so I wanted to commit my life, my ministry as well, to helping people lean into your internal call, lean into where in the world is my soul saying. I'm looking for God all outside of me, but literally you don't have to look for him, neither know you have to chase him, because he lives inside of each and every one of you. We breathe, we move, and we move as God. So when I show up in the room, God showed up.
Come on. He showed up. It goes back like what you were just saying. And I'm over here taking my little show notes like I always do. You said layers of listening. That's where so many of us miss it. And in a world where there's so much chatter, that internal thing you're talking about, it ties back into the light. Like the grandma taught me, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Even I'm 40 years old, still singing this song, and it randomly pops up in my head. But it's that soul intuition that's always been there. And so many times we get so caught up and we miss the listening to that to what's inside of us, which ties back into what you said earlier, our faith and our calling. Uh,
Yeah,
all,
because
all this ties together.
we've been. I'm sorry to interrupt you. We've been raised around so many entities and things that cause us to talk more than we listen. And a wise man said, in order for you to really judge something, you must hear the entire matter before you make an audible statement about it. And when we think about, even when we think about our light. And like the song you brought up, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Uh, that narrative speaks to how people of color see themselves as defining their light to be little. When your light is not little, we have to think of our light as big. If you need to put on shades because I walk in the room, then put them on. Because the Bible says you are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. Your light can't be little if you are the light of the globe. You're the light of the universe and you're the light of the world. And if I am the light of the world in the midst of darkness, God can give me guidance in order to know I cannot hide my light under a bushel. Because if you do, you will lose your salt. And if the salt loses savior, where will it be salted? So don't let your light be little, let your light be big and bright, and just be you, whoever you are.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, where am I going? You done messed me up as far as my.
Stop,
Come
God.
on, my Tiffany, your light is big. I want you to know it. Pastor Sammy just reminded you that your light is big. I mean, you're right. Wow. I mean, it just is what it is. You got to own it.
Yeah.
Where am I going? Here I am. So what does it mean for someone to own their light? So we talk about this light. Okay, I'm owning my light now. This little light of mine don't work for me. I'm 55 years old now. My light has grown. My light isn't little anymore. It's now big. I'm owning how big my light is. But what does it mean for someone to own their light? Because a lot of us are struggling, especially in the midst of everything that's going on in the world right now, to let this big light shine daily.
I think first of all, I think it comes from centering yourself in order to quiet the noise that is around us and outside of us, because there is much noise, but there's also a lot of noise in us, because the same amount of noise that we experience outside of us is the same amount of noise that is in your internal instinct. That's what I love about this whole 5 second rule, is that sometimes we have to count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in order to readjust our way of thinking instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it's just a ritual for us to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's routine, it's habit, but we have to break habit. We have to center ourselves, and sometimes that's why I talk about listening. Sometimes meditation is very key to that. Meditation is something that even in ministry, most people have frowned upon it, because you say meditate, they be like, oh no, that's of the devil. But no, in order for God to speak, he speaks in a still small voice. In order for you to hear that still small voice, you have to be quiet. We have to, the Bible also tells us, study to be quiet. And so we have to be quiet. And then I think number three, I think you have to define it. It's something I'm talking about today in my vlog, is define your why. Like, what is your why for existence? What is your why for dreaming? What is your why of why you feel what you believe is due to you is due to you? Because I believe when we define what is our why creates your motivation, why gives definition to how you show up in the world, and why also shows you who are the people you need to dismiss out of your life and those you need to bring into your life. And so as we navigate through life, our light, we have to understand that this light is like the oil that's in an alabaster box. I don't know what it costs for your light to be the shape or the brightness that it is. And I would never know, but you know what it cost you. You know what you had to sacrifice, and you know what decision you had to make in order to do it, because we know that decisions are life driven. We live and die by the choices we make. And when we make definitive decisions about our light, about our call, about our purpose, we have to be willing to make the sacrifices that are necessary. Because something that tore me up yesterday, in order for us to really move into this bright light, we have to be brave enough brave enough to disappoint some people, brave enough
Ah,
to,
that's good. That's good.
you know. So that is where we start, by quieting the noise, is really defining what is my why. Out of all this stuff, what is the why? What is the why?
What is the why? And it's crazy because everything you're saying is so true. You said there's a lot of noise outside of us, but it's a lot of noise inside of us too. So we have to get to the point where the light that's inside of me overpowers all the foolishness that's around me, all the noise, all the chatter. So you talked about the meditation and things like that, and you're right. People think meditation is this spooky thing, and it's really not. Like, I know me as an educator, some days, well, we're virtual now, but when we were face to face, some days I would have to just come home, take a shower, and just sit in the darkness for a minute just to meditate,
Yeah.
just to come down from my day, because it was so much happened with the student or with the teacher or with a staff member that I took that on, and it was affecting my life. So for me to get back to me, to get back to myself, let me take my shower and just sit in the darkness for a minute just to come down from my day, to get back to the core of who I am. It's important that we do stuff like that, because that noise outside will definitely overpower what's inside of us. It'll dim your light. And that's my next question was, uh, why is it important to be cognizant of light dimmers or light snatchers? Why do you think it's important for us to be cognizant of who our light dimmers and light snatchers are? It can be listen, a light dimmer or snatcher can be a person, place, or a thing. So don't get so caught up in it being a person all the time.
Absolutely. It definitely can be a person, place, or thing, because we have to be aware. We have to be aware. That is why it's important to raise the vibration of your consciousness. Be aware who's around you, what is around you, where you're going, and how it is interacting. Is it building you up or is it tearing you down? And I think we have to be aware. If we are not aware, those things are taken away from our our power. Is taken away from your impact. Is taken away from your ability to really change the world, for you to be an original and not a copycat. Because if we do not become aware of who's in our circle and what is happening and who we are. Because first of all, you got to decide, do I matter? Do I deserve this? And if you believe you deserve it and you believe that you matter, then you'll be more conscious and aware of everything, the person, place,
Right.
and the thing. Because if you don't do it, you'll really succumb to, as the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And where does he come to steal, kill, and destroy? Your dream, your vision, your goals, your purpose, all of that stuff. But God said, I come that you may have life. Life is awareness. Life is a
Mhm.
light. Life is leaning in, slowing down, because there's a lot of things around us that can make us rush and think that we got to have it right now. But slow down and really begin to say, change my consciousness. I also change what's in my subconscious that it may manifest in my consciousness. But slow down in a way that we are very much so listening and not always standing on the side of defense. We're defending everything. We're emotionally defending it. We're actually spiraling out of control. But you got to be aware. You got to be aware.
That's it. That spirit of defense is so real, because people just walk
Yeah.
around with on their shoulder, like they're ready for you to defend or offend them, and it's
Yeah.
crazy because that messes with your life. Like, if you're looking for someone to offend you, or you're already on the defense anyway. And we walk
Yeah.
around. Some of us walk around with just we're ready to get into a fight or start something with somebody, and that just drains your light in such a way. When, like, prime example, good morning. What's so good about it? I'm just saying good morning to you. Like, I don't know what you. I'm letting my big light shine. I'm just saying good morning,
Yeah.
sir. Good morning, ma'am. What's so good about it? Let me get myself together, because it's not even me right now. It's definitely you, and you're not gonna dim my light.
Exactly. And that's what we have to make those definitive decisions around. Getting around people who make you smile, getting around people who make your light bright. So when you enter people who are very challenged by themselves, then you're able to handle it. Because most of the time, most people are more so responding out of reactivity rather than actually receiving, consuming what you are giving to them, because they just have been through so much
So much.
that has made them upset, that has made them mad emotionally, just over it. And because they over it, they want you to be over it. But that is not how we rise in the world. Actually, those are additional weights to you that you at some point you got to work through all those weights. That's why I tell people, if you're going to love people, relationship or any otherwise, if you're going to love people, you got to be conscious of the things and the walls that you built up to your heart that make people have to work in order to get to know you, who you are, because you just built so many walls and so many layers to you, especially black men. You know, it's almost a job to get to the center of their heart, but that is because they've been failed on so many levels and
Mhm.
been yelled at, and then told like, you a man, so stand up. But we have to allow some of this stuff to die, be willing to confront our traumas, that we can get to the center of who we are. That when, as I talk about sometimes, stand outside and close our eyes and go within and stand in the sun, you can feel the vibration of God's spirit in you. You can feel God moving and breathing in you. But you cannot, if you're not allowing yourself to feel your own
Mhm.
self, then you cannot feel the energy, the strength, the power, and the authenticity of somebody else. You can't, because you can't even feel yourself.
You just numb.
Yeah, you're not.
You're just numb for no reason, and you can't feel, you can't vibe, you just in shutdown mode on all levels.
All levels, and people be like, I love you." Be like, yeah, I love you
I
too.
like I like you too. I like you too. Shoot. So I want to switch gears for a second, Pastor Sam. So you it's been a crazy year. Um, COVID has kept us all busy in some shape or form, but you relocated from Atlanta to Southern Los Angeles
Yeah,
and launched a church in the midst of a pandemic. So tell us
yeah.
about this experience. Tell us about this experience of just up and when I saw you, we went to Atlanta, and I turned around and you in LA, and then you launching a church, and there's just, so much has happened since the last time we saw each other. So tell us about that whole experience. Like,
Yeah. First, I want to say that I am so grateful. We are celebrating 1 year of Vision Los Angeles being here in Southern California on the
that's so
fifth Sunday in
awesome.
January. So I'm so excited about that. Like, we made it. But
Yeah, the light,
yeah,
just the
it's the
light attached to what you're doing.
it was, to be honest, this was something I felt my soul was calling me to, and that I had to do it. Like, I always knew I was called to ministry. I just didn't know how that was going to pan out based on all of the work that I was doing in entertainment publication, and branding. I just didn't know how I was going to marry those two together. However, when I made a decision to leave my previous company because I felt like my soul was calling me to something else. And then I started Love Freedom movement to just share with other creatives the things that I've learned, because I knew a lot of creatives was trying to figure it out in entertainment, public relations, and branding, and all of it, and just did not know where to start. Didn't even have the language in order to secure meetings with the right people. So I wanted to just take what I learned and share it with them. And from there, God began to deal with my heart as I was traveling with Love Freedom, and I was going to go to three places. I was going to either go to Charlotte or North Atlanta, to plant a ministry, because I knew I was called. I just didn't know when or where, but I knew. And then
Mhm.
the third place kind of came to me as I was actually walking in the mountains, LA. But I've always loved LA, and I always wanted to live in LA. I just didn't know how that was going to work either, because LA is a place, most about a lifestyle in LA. I say it like that. And so I prayed for a while, probably about 2 or 3 months, because I was really leaning on Charlotte. Um, because Charlotte will make more sense. It's not that far from Atlanta, and I'm from the South, so it would make sense. But then God was like, "No, you going to Charlotte because it's comfortable, but I need you to go into a place that is very uncomfortable, and I need you to make a leap. You love LA. You already, wanted to be in LA. You put it on your manifestation board. I want you to take a leap." And so I prayed about it. I shared it with Bishop Allen. He was like, "Yeah, you should do it. If you believe that is what God has called you to do, you should do it." And I took the leap. And when I leaped here to come to California, it was not it was not the most popular thing for me to do in transition because, mind you, I wasn't working at the time. I had a couple contracts, but I didn't have any major contracts. Not to be moving all the way on the West Coast from the East Coast. This was going to be literally a walk or a leap of faith, and so I came here for like 30 days to kind of check out the city. Things really came together in terms of like, this is where I should be. And so I went back to Atlanta and I made my final move here on December the 2nd. I flew into LA on December the 2nd. And when I flew into LA, I only had two days in the Airbnb because really my budget was really low and I was just trying to figure it out. So I said, well, let me buy 2 days in the Airbnb and then I just figure it out. I just figure it out. Or if I got to come home, I come home. And so I bought those 2 days. And immediately, as soon as I walked off the plane on December the 2nd, somebody cashed out me $100. We're just saying, I'm just proud of you. And that $100 bought me another 2 or 3 days. And from that 2 or 3 days and from staying in that Airbnb, God has literally kind of walked me through every phase that was necessary to get me settled in order to plant the ministry, which we started on the second Sunday in January of 2020 to where we are right now. So it wasn't the easiest thing. I'm here with no family, a couple of friends, but God has took our ministry where it just started with me literally taking a leap. And now we at about 25 plus partners. So
That is so awesome,
and
man.
it happened in the pandemic. Like we had people coming before before the pandemic. Then when the pandemic hit, we had to make a quick decision in terms of were we going to be quiet or were we going to be creative and do something innovative in order to continue to keep the message going. And I wanted to keep the message going. And so I had to lean into my technology and do it. But I've learned in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of a crisis, God will give you increase. And I've seen God give us increase the entire way.
It's crazy because I did a show before the year ended last year titled Pastoring in a Pandemic. And so some of the content like you're sharing, like the way churches are still surviving and thriving and growing, and even the Ministry of Vision LA in its infancy is still thriving, and there are churches that are just closing doors. And it's just amazing how when there's a light attached to what you're doing, and there is kingdom mindedness and not the usual normal things that have been happening for years happening, your light will sustain you. And I want to go back to something you said about to go back to what you were saying about the move and everything. And this dropped in my spirit that the capacity and magnitude of your light will make you uncomfortable. So people don't understand that when you have this light attached to you, the capacity of what your light can do and the magnitude of it will make you uncomfortable. You said, I'm going to Charlotte. And God said, nah, you going to the Charlotte West. She's like, you going to Charlotte, all right, but maybe in another city. But it's funny how we get so comfortable. And when there's such a heavy bounty attached to our light, we have to be very cognizant of the fact that it's not going to be comfortable. There are going to be some things some things that will make us laugh, something that will make us cry, but God will provide and keep us in the midst of it all. Like you said, you got off the plane and got a freaking cash out, and that gave you a few more days to allow God to figure this thing out.
Because that I've learned I would have never known God the way I have known God if I would not have made this leap in LA. I would not have been able to say that he would. The old folks say, I can say that he can make a way out of no way. I know what it means to not go hungry. I know what it meant, to start here in LA eating at Subway because they had the $2.50 like 6-foot sandwiches on sale. To now, being able to go to Whole Foods and eat, but it it didn't look good at the beginning, and it was uncomfortable, and it was literally in the face of God asking questions and what is the next move. But I am such a believer, and a lot of people be like, oh, it's expensive in California. I don't believe that. Like, I don't believe that. I don't believe about somebody say, "Oh, I pay $60 and some dollars for a haircut for this." I don't believe that either. I believe that when the steps are ordered by God, the steps of a good woman, the steps of a good man are ordered by God. He will pull things into place. The knowledge of the things you need to know, the people you need to know, the places you need to go that are critical for your success in life. When we move with the wind of God, literally, sometimes it sounds very easy by me talking to you, but when we move in the wind of God and move by faith, we can see the miracles and things that we cannot even conceive out of our own mind. God do them in our face, like literally do them in our face.
Right here.
Yeah, and I've seen him. Like I said, I had said to someone, I am moving on this date from a space I was staying in LA. I am moving on this date. And I was saying that without the money to even move on that date. But before I could get to that date, 1 week earlier, a contract came through for a year that made it just easier for me to say, yep, I'm moving for sure because I got the money now.
I love
And I
it.
would have never knew that if
I
I would have
love
stayed
it.
I would have never knew it if I would have stayed in Atlanta.
See. Mm. Listen, you going somewhere, man, with me tonight, and it's just flowing. This is such
Yeah.
genuine conversation about this light thing. How much power do you think is attached to someone's light? Like, we're talking about how God has manifested things in LA for you, and you have this amazing light. But how much power do you think is attached to someone's light? I mean, you just shared how your light has opened up so many doors in LA. You moved there, didn't know anybody. You're there by yourself, and you've planted a whole church, and you went from um, wondering how I'm gonna make it, and now you're thriving. So, talk about this thing about power and the attached to someone's life.
So yeah, because I think our light is to shine and to shine light, not for us, because when it's about us, then we step into that area of narcissism. But we are here to
Mhm.
serve someone else. We are here to be a light for someone else. Your liberation will help someone else be liberated, because I believe there's a tribe of people attached to your voice. There are tribal
Oh
people
yeah.
attached to your purpose. So when we walk in the fullness of our light, when we walk in the fullness of our call, when we walk in the fullness of who you are and you embrace that fully, um, you literally will see other people embrace and feel and really stand in a place of affirmation of who they are. And
That's
that's one of
good.
the things I really minister about at Vision Los Angeles, that I want to create a bold space, a safe space for all people to come and embrace God in this space. And I'm not asking you to define God in 150 ways. I just want you to embrace your faith, embrace the God of the universe, the God of the globe, the God of the heaven, that he's available to you and living inside of you and just waiting for you to awaken to your vision and to your dream that he placed inside of you from birth. Because we may look
Mm.
like our parents, we may look like our family, but their vision and dream is not the same. So you there's something in you. You're not here to do everything, but you are here to do something. And the more we begin to let our light shine, and don't worry about the darkness will always be present. But then only in order for you to see the stars in the sky, it has to be dark. So in order for you to shine your light as bright as you can, you got to go through moments of darkness. You have to go through moments of fear. You have to go through moments of challenges. But through all of that, it is the making of a prophet, it's the making of an apostle, it's the making of an entrepreneur, it's the making of a millionaire, it's the making of a billionaire, it's the making of gold. If gold don't go through fire, you don't know if it's pure or not. So we got to go through challenges. We got to go through things that sometimes don't feel comfortable, but it is necessary for you to be
Mm.
everything you've been placed here to be. Everything you've been placed here to be. Because my mission, my goal is to die empty. I don't want to die full. I want to die empty. Like everything out of me, I want to die empty. Even with Vision Los Angeles, it's not about four walls. We're not just trying to create the gospel or preach the gospel of Jesus through from a pulpit. No, I want to tell it through
Right.
a movie. I want to tell it through a story. I want to tell it through dance. I want to tell it through empowerment sessions. I want to tell it through feeding the hungry. I want to tell it through going into where HIV patients are and giving them hope and knowing that your HIV is only the next level for you to help somebody else live even brighter. So, you know, that thing, like taking your pain and using your pain as your misery, but your misery is your ministry.
Oh, that's good. Use your pain as your misery and your misery as your ministry. Listen,
Beautiful, man.
Dana, yes, Dana, let me die empty. I mean, he said, just get it all out of me. Like, I don't want to. I want to leave this place empty. There's so much that we have to give, and who does? People mix this, get this thing so mixed up, but they want to die so. But no, let me die empty. Like, I
Yeah,
will know that my mission has been fulfilled if I die empty. My light has been received well my light has been received well when you give me that resolution at my funeral. I talked about last week how I don't have New Year's resolutions because they read resolutions when you die. I have goals. I have goals for this year because I don't have any resolutions. I'm not dead. I'm not big as I'm not ready to die. I still got a bunch of stuff in me to get out so I can die empty. No, that was powerful, man.
Yeah, because if Jesus was able to say it is finished, and he says, as I am, so are you in this world, then why can I say it is finished? If Jesus was able to give up the ghost, then as he is, so are we in this world, then why can I die when I am ready to make the transition? If we're going to tote the Bible, use spirituality, use faith, let's use it in a way because it's to empower us to be. It is to empower us to show up in the world as our authentic self, unapologetic, and walk in your authority that you've been given. You're made in the likeness of God. So there are no limits to you. There are no limits to you. There are no limits
No
to
limits.
who you are. The infinity lives in you. And your spirit is infinity. That's why your spirit can go places that your flesh cannot go because we're more spirit than we are flesh. The crazy thing is that the greatest assassination to your vision, the greatest assassination to your dream, not only is negativity, is this flesh because we see it, we can touch it, we smell it, we know we're to it.
Yeah.
But your spirit is what's going to take you into places that your voice can't go, take you into places that your body can't go, and give you miracles that your hands can't even help you do, but your spirit can do it. Yes, it can. I don't care who you are.
Listen,
your spirit is powerful.
Listen, we got this flesh thing down. It's the spirit thing that we struggle with.
Yeah, because we don't see it. Because we don't see it. You know, the Bible says the things that we see are temporal. This is temporal. But the things that we don't see are eternal. And that's why faith is such sometimes a hard concept to conceive or contrive because we don't see it. But faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. But the heart is sick when it don't see the hope that it's hoping for. But when we hope and it becomes reality, then it becomes a lie. But we got to be able to see even when we don't see it. We see it in a way because we are visionaries by nature. Because God saw us before we came through our mother. So if God saw us, then we can see too. There's a seer in you.
And I'm trying to see everything that pertains to me. I'm trying to tell you. Okay, look. So I'm look. Okay, I'm gonna go here. You're on this journey right now. New year, new journey. So it's called 31 Days of Light, and it's such a dope concept. Just Go ahead and share with us about this 31 Days of Light concept that you this is day number
13.
13. Yeah. Tell us about this thing. Like, how did you come up with it? What was the rationale behind it? And how has it been received? It's definitely been received well by me because I'm loving it.
It has been received really well because for me, I always at the beginning of the year, I focus on realigning my spirit and really praying and taking something out of my diet as a way of fasting and sacrifice at the top of the year that I can just paint the picture of where I'm going and very and clear and hear clearly what God is saying to me. I do vision boards, I do vision booster notebook that I had for years. I go back and review that kind of stuff. But I wanted to create 31 Days of the Light because I felt with everything that is going on around us, and the many people who have lost loved ones, the constant hurt and the pain that people are experiencing even today, because we are still losing people every day due to COVID-19, and people are struggling around finances, they're struggling around eating. Just 2020 was just a big year of challenges for many people, and so I wanted to help people at least the 31 days of the year. Let's focus on the light. Let's focus on the love. Let's focus on the hope. Let's focus on positivity. Let's elevate the positivity and eliminate the negative. Like, I want to fuel your positivity. I want to fuel your dream. I want to fuel your vision. I want to fuel your possibilities, that in spite of everything that's happening around you, I don't want you to submit yourself to this condition called give up itis, when there is nothing wrong with you, just nothing literally is wrong with you, but just because you don't see your way out and everything looks very bleak, you take on this negative experience that say, I don't want to live anymore. And because you don't want to live anymore, you end up literally dying. And so I wanted to take 31 days. I vlog every day. I even TikTok every day, and I do Clubhouse every other day, just to constantly infuse people with positivity for the first 31 days. And I share with you in my vlogs my journey, like what I'm going through that day, or what I'm thinking about that day, or what has inspired me that day. But I'm hoping that it really pushes people forward. Like, I want to push you forward. We spend too much time making love to our past, but I want you to live in the future. I want you to live in the now, like embrace what is happening for you right now, and then move forward. So that's why I do this whole 31 days to the light. Today is day 13. I really focus on today. What is your why? And I talked about the Nike campaign and slogan that I see it every day when I walk in the morning. And it started out in its first phase as "You can't stop us." Then they had a second phase to it. They just added a third phase to it, and I read all three phases of it. But I think that slogan is so nice. It reminds me of that P Diddy song, that we can't be stopped now. We're bad.
Yeah, more polite. Yeah. No, you no, this is such a dope concept, y'all. If you he gonna tell you how you could keep up with him before we leave. But it's crazy because I've been following it and I've been watching, and I think it was the other day or the day before when you said that you woke up and you just had the day you had the ground, you had to just meditate because of how your morning started. I just needed to wake up and just meditate to the point where I had to clear all this chatter and stuff from around me, and it really pushed me more to when I get up in the morning to start meditating myself. As a black man, there are just certain things that set our antennas up. So it can be mental health, it can be meditation, things like that. But these actually are not bad things. And I'm like, I may need to start meditating more. I may need to try a yoga class or something like that to just, for me to preserve my light, because there are so many people that will, so many people, places, and things that will try to deter my light or take from my light or steal my light. So I need to just keep myself centered to the point where my light continues to grow and my light continues to shine. So I'm definitely appreciative of you for doing these 31 days of light, because it's realistic, it's impactful. It's very rewarding for us to understand and see that we're not the only ones going through challenges with our light. Like we're all struggling. There's a lot going on in the world, but to have that moment where I'm able to focus on me. We get so busy with the hustle and bustle of the day that we don't have time to just focus on us and being our best self. So I'm definitely thankful for 31 Days of Light. Now I'm gonna move to this love freedom movement, because you're doing that too. This told you so multifaceted, man, and got so many things going on. Tell us about the love freedom movement and what's happening with it.
So love freedom movement actually is like my true baby. Like, I really love Freedom because, as I forestated, it allows me to share some of the things that I've learned in PR, public relations, in entertainment, in publication, in working with celebrities, in that entire world, even in administration, because I've done a lot of things in administration as well. And I love it because it gives people the tools to know like it's possible. And we're able to share the narrative of other people who are successful, but they show you, that they had to go through some struggle. You see the glory, but you didn't know what that process looked like, and how long it took me in order for you to see this glory over here. And so we travel around, if it wasn't for the pandemic, we at least go to at least 3 different places, and we do what we call Freedom to Be. So, we did this year, even in the middle of the pandemic, we did Freedom to Be Nashville, which was so amazing. And shout out to Pastor Julian of Vision Church Nashville, who hosted us in Nashville. But we've also have done, Freedom to Be South Carolina, Freedom to Be Charlotte, Freedom to Be Atlanta. And so we do those because I just don't want to be stuck to South Carolina. I still believe that Love Freedom Movement is a global mission. It's a global initiative. And we usually we do Essence Festival. We've done Essence Festival for 2 years. We have celebrities and influencers and different people come in and share with an audience of people. The only reason why we didn't do it this year is because of the pandemic. So it's not only just something that we do on a local level. We actually unite with other national festivals or conferences in order to see where we can insert Love Freedom movement. And last thing I'll say, it was very exciting for me in 2019. We was able to do Sister to Sister national conference that was held in Atlanta, and we did like a men's panel that Love Freedom did as well. So Love Freedom is a wing of my creative spiel for me to just step into a space where I can just be creative, flow in motivation, flow in spirituality, flow creatively, that I can just empower those that are in the room to know wherever you're dreaming. I literally want to help dreamers and visionaries like accomplish it. And I want to give you the tools. I want to put you in front of the right people. I want to help you expand your base from where you are, as I say, from your living room. So how can I move from my living room to my community, from my community to regional, and from regional to national exposure or national platform?
You see my face?
Why's your face like that?
My face is like this. So I'm gonna tell you why my face is like this. Number one, I ain't hear nothing about Love Freedom DC. I heard Love Freedom every other city, but I ain't heard DC on the list. That's number one. And then number two, how can I be down? Because I ain't even asked to help join. I'm trying to join the movement, and it's a lot of rich content and connections and networking and stuff. I'm trying to be down like Brandy, and I got to do. We gonna work on it. We gonna work on it.
Yeah. I want you to be a part of it, and all it takes literally is an invitation. You haven't given me an invitation.
I would love to work with the Love Freedom movement. So I'm telling you, it's on live. It's being recorded. So I'm trying to be down like Brandy, so I can I love what it entails. I love the work that you're doing, and I would be remiss if I wasn't a part of something great like that. And I would definitely, it's all about being around the right people and allowing lights to come together and complement each other. And nobody's trying to, So you talked about celebrities and you talked about celebrities and working with them, and I'm sure you have had some nice lights that you've met, and I'm sure you've had some lights that you probably wish you could not remember. But where I'm going with that is, I'm not going to ask you to name nobody. I promise I'm not going to ask you to name nobody. But speaking of celebrities, another thing that I like that you're doing is this. This Healing Room LA is so light provoking and so real. It's like if you're watching, if you've never seen Healing Room LA, go to YouTube. It's on Pastor Sammy's YouTube channel. But you had like Terrell Carter on there one time, and I was watching, and I was like, that his story is so like, you know, but I mean everyone's story is, but I just love how the Healing Room LA pulls out the meat or the root of, while providing realistic ways to tackle what you're dealing with. And when you're dealing with stuff like that, you have to be very cautious and very intentional so that you don't hurt anybody. Like it's like it's called Healing Room LA, but I don't want to damage you in the process, because me damaging you or what the content that we're talking about can mess up or further disengage your light. So can you talk about Healing Room LA?
Yeah, you know, Healing Room LA is something that was birthed out of COVID-19. Honestly, wow. I was in quarantine just as everyone else is. And in the quarantine, when you're sitting in your home and you are thinking like, what do I do now? Because now I have all this time and I can't go anywhere. I am here. What do I do? How do I become creative? And one of the things that was necessary for me to do while I was in quarantine, God was speaking to me like, finish some stuff, finish some of the stuff that you have started. And so I wrote a book. I actually wrote two. I wrote an ebook and I wrote a gentleman's book that I have been working on for years, even when I worked in higher education, advising kings, and a program that I started called Perfect Gentleman Academy. I finally got the first phase of that book out and published it. And then I was like, with everything that's going on, and Love Freedom can't travel, what can I do? Or who is willing to even talk to me in a way that I can actually insert healing in the middle of the pain? How can I insert healing and inspiration to people? And so Healing Room LA was birthed out of that. And the first person I asked to do it, he was on the show Brothers by Tyler Perry. And crazy, I didn't know him. And this is my first show, so my show don't have any history of saying that you should trust and be on this show. And in my mind, I said, if he says yes, or if I can get a right person with some type of notoriety to say yes to the first show, then I'll do the show. Because again, I was dragging my foot in terms of should I or should not. And crazy enough, he said yes, he'll do the show. And so we set it up and we did it. And in that one show, although he was speaking to our audience, he was speaking to my fears and speaking to me as a person in terms of, because I at that point I was kind of dealing with, I'm a pastor, so how do I balance pastor, but also I really love like podcasts, and I love podcast style, I love interviewing, I love some of the stuff that I did on the entertainment side, like how do I marry that? Right. But yet people receive you as a spiritual advisor. But he gave me so much clarity because he made this one statement of take up as much space as your spirit requires in order for you to and be in the world. And when he said that, I was like, yeah, I need to take up as much space that is necessary. And I know how to curate a brand. So that means I need to marry this into the brand, because this is who I am. Like, I can't bring half of me to the table. I must bring all of me to the table. And so by bringing all of me to the table, more and more the healing rooms began to happen. Even when I was like, oh, I'm going to take a break, before I could take a break, somebody's already said, oh, no, I want to come on Healing Room LA. So, you know, that show for me has been inspiring on my own personal journey. And it has been a blessing to me just to hear different people say, yeah, I watched the show. And it has been really powerful just to hear their narrative, their testimony to their process. And so I've just been grateful for Healing Room LA. I'm excited. We have a new show coming out next week. And so I just learned consistency is the key to success. And if you just keep doing it, keep following that soul calling, it is going to lead you to the place that you've been called to do. So Healing Room is really birthed out of quarantine, literally.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Just like Dialogues with Doc, it's just something that we got busy doing what we are supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Pastor Sammy, there's somebody watching.
Yep.
I either they're watching right now, or once this video is shared, or they'll end up watching it on YouTube or Facebook later, and they feel like they're losing grasp with their light. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening with them individually, but there's a lot of chatter going on outside, and they feel like they're losing touch or grasp with their light. Before we get out of here, what's something you can share with them as a word of encouragement to help get them back on track?
I would like to share with them that faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. What are you allowing to go into your ear gates? What are you putting in your ear gate? Because what you place in your ear gate is what actually feeds your soul. And so in order to strengthen your faith, in order to raise the vibration of your faith, not only do you read the word of God, but we live in a very modern and pluralistic world. So you use technology, use your YouTube, use Audible books, use something that speaks to your spirit, that speaks to your possibility, that speaks to your dream, that speaks to your vision, that speaks to your faith. That when you experience these moments of noisiness and you experience moments of feeling of doubt and you're alone and nobody is with you, you find somewhere to add faith to there. Add it in a voice, add it with a YouTube video, add it with something. Sometimes we go to bed watching television shows and then rather than going to bed listening to something that is feeding your spirit, your soul, your spirit is starving. Sometimes the noise is a result of your spirit starving for nutrients. And the nutrients come from you feeding it with the energy, with the power of your own possibilities. But it's up to you to make the decision in order to do it. So I want you to elevate your faith by being attentive to what you allow to go into your ear gates. Even friends that you talk on the phone with, sometimes they're not good to end your night with talking with, because the information, the style of the talk, the conversation is actually deadening or killing the vision and the dreamer in you. You got to disconnect from people. Even sometimes I say delete some people out of your phone. Don't even go to sleep off of social media. No, step back from the noise. Like, step back from the noise. What do you believe is true about you? What do you believe is true about you, your calling, your purpose, your destiny? What do you believe is true? And then once you believe and you know it is true, that will help you answer your why. And your why will drive you to every moment that you feel in despair. Every moment you feel like you're alone, you'll find a way to feed your spirit with positivity, to decree and declare that I am brilliant, I am powerful, I am beautiful, I am worthy, I attract money. I say this all the time when I do offering. I attract money, and I'm not ashamed to say that, because money is how we move and how we live. I attract money. I attract opportunity. You don't have to chase nothing. We've been chasing long enough. When we talk about waiting, you've been waiting and chasing people who are not even chasing you. You're chasing opportunities that are not chasing you. You're chasing money that's not chasing you. But there is money. There is opportunities that are chasing you when we quiet the noise and center ourselves and know that the power of God, He is living. God is living, operating, moving inside of you. Be the God being you've been destined to be. Be the God person you've been destined to be. And when you do that, you're able to literally get past some of that noise and really hear clearly what God is saying to you. You'll be like the prophet Isaiah. It could the spirit came in a storm, it came in an earthquake, it came in the shaking of the rocks, but he didn't hear the voice of God until everything was quiet. And then God began to speak in a still, small voice. When we understand the value of being quiet and not always talking, and not always trying to defend ourselves, but just sitting in the moment and just waiting to hear and to listen to God's presence internally speaking within you, then you will literally see your life move from one plateau to the next plateau. And the last thing I want to say this. Let's not submit to the idealism of escapism. Escapism is saying, I'm ready to go to heaven. Why are you trying to go to heaven when you are to bring heaven here on earth?
Come on.
God did not create you to live that you can die. Huh? We're using the narrative of our ancestors because they've been through so much pain and so much stress and so much trauma in terms of slavery. But you are kingdom, queendom. You are to bring heaven on earth. So when we talk about the God being, and I talk about entering a room, when you enter the room, heaven enter the room. When you speak, heaven speaks, because we are God's representative. Move with that authority, move with that power, move with that energy. And when you do that, you will know without a doubt everything that comes in my ear, everything that I allow to come into my ear that I hear, it is what I give permission to. And those who are not a part of my building and they're plucking me down, you will learn how to excavate them. You'll learn how to take them out of your narrative.
I love it. Thank you for that. I'm look. Tell the people that was good. I'm not gonna even touch it. I'm gonna leave it right there. Tell the people how they can keep up with you and what you got coming down the pipeline.
Yes, you can keep up with me on Instagram at Sammy Haynes Inc. On Facebook, Sammy Haynes. On also, you can look us up on Facebook, Vision Los Angeles on Facebook and Instagram, or go to SammyHaynes.com or lovefreedom.org or visionlosangeles.org. We are in all of those spaces, and I'm so excited as we continue this 31 Days to the Light journey. Plus, we have coming up, actually, the last week of January is Crossover LA. Crossover LA is January the 25th through the 30th. It will be all virtual, so it'll be on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. It is the crossover. We call it the intersection of spirituality, sexuality, and leadership. We have some amazing speakers that are going to share that entire week. And then that Sunday on 31st is our 1-year anniversary celebration for Los Angeles. So I'm excited. So yeah, if you go to my page, you can see all the stuff. We got something going on. And plus, we are for my birthday. My birthday is this month in January. I am raising funds for Love Freedom Movement. And so you'll see like some campaign going out for that as we raise funds for Love Freedom to continue to empower, impact, and transform people's lives, literally.
I love it. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have had an awesome time tonight with Pastor Dr. Sammy Haynes.
Thank you, Dr. Green. Thank you, Dr.
I appreciate thank you. I appreciate you so much. The light edition was awesome. Please like, please share, please have a watch party, please subscribe, all that good stuff. If you missed the show tonight, it's on the YouTube channel so you can share with other people. Again, Pastor Sammy, thank you for joining me. This has been another awesome edition of Dialogues with Doc. I will see you guys next Wednesday at 8 p.m. with another amazing topic and panel of people. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week. Stay safe, wear your mask, and remember, you have a light inside of you. Don't let anyone dim it or snatch it. Hold on, Pastor Sammy. Don't leave.
Okay.